things first. Now, with first things first, do you remember the story of Cwecwe? We did it on the show, I think about 4 months ago now, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so there was a baby, basically, that was allegedly raped. This is Madadiela. And nobody knew, obviously, who the perpetrator was, but there were suspicions.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about some of the suspects. And it seemed very evident that the family needed justice. Now, very often in South Africa, when people need justice, what we tend to do is we'll try and fundraise for them because we realize that access to justice costs money. Cwecwe's mom is a police person, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So is her dad. I could be mistaken. Yeah. And so they raised some money for, I think it ended up being to the tune of 350,000 Rand, right?
Sure.
Now, this Sunday, the City Press ran a story that once they handed that money over, she used that money to pay off debt, right? Her own personal debt. And at first I was like, okay, but what's wrong with that? Because it's the money that was given to her. It's her money. And secondly, some people are like, well, we thought she was going to use the money to hire lawyers. Well, I mean, if this, for example, happened to have been a rape case, then it would have been a state prosecutor that prosecutes the case. And she wouldn't have needed to pay for that. The state would have paid for that. And also, when you help somebody, let's say, for example, you donate to a family, if they decide to use that money to pay off whatever their imminent needs are, then what's the problem? Honestly, like, that's what I felt like. Mbali, maybe I'm missing something here.
No, I think, well, this was for the child, I think, for me, because this was all centered around this little girl. And, you know, why not do something for the child? Why not invest the money for the child instead of you now going out of your way to pay your own personal debt? Try and do something, you know, to, benefit the child in the future, long term. Paying off debt, I don't think that was a wise move.
But, okay, so if I pay off debt and I relieve myself on an ongoing basis, month to month, then I can do more for the child, surely, no?
I agree with what Sizwe is saying, but at the same time, I feel as though more often than not, when we give people money that we feel we've worked hard for, we tend to want to dictate what they must do with it, right? Like, for instance, if somebody owes me money, but I see them at a club, big balling, I get hurt because I'm like, how? But why aren't you paying me? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes we tend to want to dictate what people should do. But I agree with Sizwe. If you give me money out of the goodness of your heart, without me even asking, I can do with it what I please.
Exactly. I don't need to explain to you at all.
No, I don't.
The fact that we keep policing what was done with this money, this thing only happens to poor black people. Because if anybody else goes and they spend their money whichever way they want, we never say anything about that.
No, we don't.
There was that lady, that racist lady that they raised money for.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten what her name was now, right? Mm-hmm. But they raised money for her. Nobody knows how she spends her money. Nobody even cares. Honestly, please help me understand.
So you're trying to say it's a black problem? Black people tend to want to police funds that we have given to someone else.
It's not necessarily a black problem.
Okay.
It's a class problem that inevitably ends up being a black problem.
Okay.
Because what happens is, if a rich person goes and they spend their money willy-nilly, nobody says anything because they go, it's their money, they're entitled to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go to poor people, because poor people are usually dependent on others, and you donate. It's just like if you give somebody homeless money on the street, tell them, hey, don't buy booze with this money. Right? I understand it. I get why you're saying don't buy booze, because it's not going to lead you anywhere.
But what if that's what I
do? My money is to do with as I please.
But
right?
then it questions the motives behind why you seek that money in the first place.
I seek the money because I've got nothing.
That motive. What was the motive behind that? Was it for the case, or was it already for you to be secured in that money?
But in this particular
instance, raises the question.
She didn't ask for the money.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if she asked for the money. People chose to donate money to her.
Never mind asking for the money, but why she went out in public?
No, she went out in public because she needed justice.
Okay, I suppose, but when something like that happens, for the examples you're mentioning about maybe donating your liver and someone goes out drinking on a binge and you're like, how
It's my liver.
No, you guys, okay, wait, hold on. You guys, now you're conflating a lot of examples. Liver's different. I'm talking about money. The reason why liver's different is because drinking directly affects the liver. That's something else.
Hey, but if it's my liver now, it has nothing to do with you.
That's up to you. You can decide.
My
right?
point.
But if I'm giving you money and
I'm giving you money because you are home.
You can't build a home with 20 rand also, Juliet. What are you talking about?
No, but then it's a whole funding. That money is a lot.
It was over 300,000.
It was 350,000. Guys, hold on. You guys are conflating issues here. Again, I'm trying to explain something to you. We're talking about the homeless person, right?
Yeah.
The homeless person goes out and they go, hey, I need money. Then you go, okay, here's 20 rand. Then the person decides with the 20 rand he's going to go buy booze, right?
Yes.
Now you may feel, you're wasting the money, so the next time I'm not going to give you money. You're well within your right to say that. What you can't do is once you've given the money is tell the person how to spend their money. True. Because it's theirs now.
True.
Just like if I go, let's say I drank, if I wanted to go buy booze with money that I earned here at Kaya, and I spent all of it on booze, there's nothing you can tell me. It's my money.
Okay, so in this case, she didn't ask for the donations. She received the donations, and now we are asking why she settled her debt with the donation.
And spending, by the way, settling debt is a very responsible way to spend money.
I agree.
A very responsible way.
I suppose they wanted to put it back into, rebuilding that dignity for her daughter, something along those lines.
Yeah,
but that's what this is. We're now debt free, right? So when I earn money, we can do more with whatever comes in monthly.
Hi, Hassaz.
Because another thing is, this was reported that she had sold 2 of her cars previously to raise money in case they needed, for example, access to justice, etc. and so on.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so I think she raised like 200,000. And so then she went back to pay off that money and maybe got her cars back.
Yeah.
Okay, that I guess.
Okay,
I suppose we agree. I didn't know that part.
But even that, the fact that we're sitting here discussing her personal matters, why is it our problem?
I agree with you. It's none of our business. The moment you let go of that money and you give it to the next person, it is now no longer yours, and you can therefore not dictate what must be done with it.
Give us a shout and let us know, honestly. Like, Cwecwe's mom allegedly spent 350,000 rand that was donated to her in settling debt. Why is this a problem, if at all?